Yo, it's Wolvie. I'm back with another video. We got camera this time. We got microphone. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. I hope y'all been drawing, steady creating, learning, and expanding. Today we're gonna talk about mastery, about our 10,000 hours, about my 10,000 hours. We're talking about the 10,000 hour journey. It's thrown around a lot. It's said that if you practice something for 10,000 hours, you will be a master. When I originally thought to make this video, I was assuming I had done my 10,000 hours of drawing. I'm almost 30. I've been drawing since I can remember, as long as I can remember, since before I could read. And so I kind of just assumed I must have been drawing for 10,000 hours. I draw just about every day. Drawing every day for 30 years. It's got to be 10,000 hours. But then I did the math. But before we get into the math, let's just talk a little bit about my drawing practice so y'all understand. I would consider myself a jack, an artistic jack, not a specialist. My drawing, I'm generally drawing comics. That's what got me into drawing. But I often find myself obsessed with different types of drawing. I was in a phase where I was drawing Irezumi, Japanese traditional tattoos. There's been phases where I do portraiture. I also like doing fashion design and sneaker drawings. But I do always come back to the comics. But yeah, so let's do the math. I did the math of around, say I draw 30 minutes a day for 27 years. I would be at 4,927 hours of drawing. That's not even halfway to 10,000. Did I do my math wrong? What's going on? Usually when I sit down to draw, I draw for a little more than an hour. Usually my sessions are an hour, 2 hours. But I'm not drawing 2 hours every day. What about the days I don't draw? I say 27 years, I'm only 27 years old. Have I been drawing since the first day I came out the womb with a pen in my hand? I could, based on the numbers, I could be past this 10,000 mark or behind it. There's no real way to tell unless I have been logging all my hours for forever, my whole life. So maybe I miscalculate and I'm over 10,000 hours. What then? Does that mean am I a master drawer? Should the world bow down to me now because I've drawn for 10,000 hours? Can I put my pen down and rest on my laurels now? Can I chill out? Is that what this means? Or does it mean now I should be getting the big bucks to draw? Is that what it means? I don't know. This is really the point of the video, is so you do 10,000 hours, then what? What are you counting for? Say I had been logging all my hours and I hit the 10,000 hour mark. What then? Because I don't really wish I had been logging my 10,000 hours. If I do my estimate at an hour a day, then I'll be almost at 10,000 hours. I'll be at 9,855 hours. So, am I a master? I don't know. Do I feel like a master? No, not really. I do feel extremely confident and comfortable and capable when there's a pen in my hand. No, but I don't feel like a master. I do feel like I can draw whatever I need to when there's a pen in my hand. I do feel confident that I can draw anything. 10,000 hours. I think it's a number that's just right there on the cusp. This isn't the first time I tried to calculate my 10,000 hours in terms of drawing, but other things as well. I definitely haven't gotten nowhere close to 10,000 hours with any other skill besides drawing. But all the times I've tried to calculate my 10,000 hours or see where I am on the journey, it pretty much always leads to the same thing of like getting to a point where it's just not quantifiable. It's not, you can't really imagine it. Say I'm 145 hours away from reaching my 10,000 hours. I can plan out how I'm going to do that 145 hours, and I'll do that. And if I do that, I'm not going to feel any different at the end of the 145 hours. And I'll get to 145 hours to complete my 10,000 hours, regardless of whether I plan it out or not. I would always plan it out, but all right, how am I going to get to the 10,000 hours? Let's just say I'm at 2,000 hours now. This is my younger self saying this. All right, I'm going to plan this out. I draw X amount of hours every day, and I start logging it. The 10,000 hours is just, it's going to be such a long process that I always lose sight of it. I feel like it's just at that cusp where you can kind of imagine it and it's kind of a feasible thing. Because if you don't do anything but draw or work on said skill for a whole year, you don't sleep, you don't eat, you don't do nothing but draw, you could get 10,000 hours in a year, in like 400 and some days, a little bit over a year. But that's impossible as a human to do that. It's like at the border of being an unimaginable number, unfathomable number. Like, just try to think about only drawing for a whole year straight. No food, no sleep, no other activities, no nothing else. Just you at a desk drawing only for 365 days, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's a little bit. That's a lot. Now you could break it down into 2 years. Now imagine spending half the day, half your time, 12 hours a day, every day of the week, every week of the month, every month of the year, for 2 years. Even that is unfathomable. No one is spending 12 hours a day drawing. That's just not a reality. That's not how life works. It's just not. You could do that for a week, you could do that for a month, but it's not going to play out that way for 2 years to get to your 10,000 hours. So then what? You break it down 3 years. Let's do 4 years. If you want to get your 10,000 hours in 4 years, achieve mastery in 4 years, that means 6 hours of drawing a day. Every day of the week, every week of the year, every month of the year. That's a little more feasible, but it's still unfeasible to do 6 hours every day, unless that's your job, unless you're extremely well off and you don't have any other responsibilities. If you don't have any other responsibilities, you have the time to do that 6 hours of drawing every day, but it's very likely you don't have the discipline. And if you have the discipline to do 6 hours a day, it's very likely that you have responsibilities and workloads that don't allow you to do the 6 hours every day. So you break it down, 3 hours a day. 3 hours a day is much more manageable. 3 hours a day, it'll take you 8 years. That's almost a decade. If you spend 3 hours a day, every day drawing, it's still gonna take you almost a decade. And that's every day, not missing any days. No, it will take you a decade. It will, because I rounded down. So it'll take you maybe a little more than a decade at 3 hours a day. And even then, 3 hours a day is a huge sacrifice if you're somebody who works full time or has a life with responsibilities or family. 3 hours a day after work is a huge time commitment to do every day. So how you gonna achieve mastery from that? So y'all starting to see the picture I'm laying out? Because it's kind of leaving it to a point where you kind of have to have had put your time in before life catches up with you and you end up having responsibilities. Otherwise, the 10,000 hour mastery isn't a feasible path. It's not feasible to think about it like that when you have other life stuff. Because getting a mastery is just one step. Then you have to, that's just one element of drawing. Or that's just one element of being an artist. But if you want to have something like a career or something, you need to learn other things about being an artist besides drawing. Drawing mastery in itself won't get you anywhere. Unless you're talking about mastery level like Kim Jong-gi. He's kind of above a master. He's beyond a master's level. He's that freak level, that generational master. But the point is that this 10,000 hours is kind of like, it's a number that it seems feasible. It's small enough to seem feasible. You're like, oh yeah, I could get to 10,000 hours. But when you really break it down and break down the logistics of it, it's just big enough where it's kind of unfeasible. You know what I'm saying? It's just big enough where due to life and the reality of things not being perfect in life and reality, it's easy to lose sight of that 10,000 hours if you make a whole big plan of how you're going to get there. And the other thing is that it's an arbitrary marker. It's like, say you get to 7,500 hours. It's just arbitrary. It doesn't mean that you finished a project. It doesn't mean anything reality-wise. It could just mean that it's just an arbitrary number. It's not gonna motivate. Like, maybe that's how maybe that's what motivates you, but I think it's not that motivating to think about the 10,000 hours. It's kind of a, I'll just break it down. The 10,000 hour thing is like, it's just a tall tale. It's a tall tale. It's kind of like, in order to reach that 10,000 hour mark, you have to commit your whole life and yourself. So whatever it is whatever skill you're trying to master, if you want to put 10,000 hours in your lifetime, you're gonna have to dedicate yourself to it, like heavy. You're gonna have to sacrifice parts of your life. It's just how it goes. 3 hours every day is a huge sacrifice. You can barely have if you work 40 hours a week and then you're doing 3 hours a day on top of that, you don't really have time for life. You don't really got much time for life outside of that. It's just how it is. And that is the path of mastery. Because everyone tells you there's this 10,000 hours thing, and then you also get the other side of people telling you gotta be balanced. You gotta be balanced. Spend time inside, spend time outside. Eat food you like, eat healthy food. Don't eat too much, don't eat too little. Spend some time drawing, but spend some time living life. But that isn't the path to 10,000 hours. That's why I want to bring this up, is because the path to getting to 10,000 hours isn't a path of balance. Every time people ask you what's up, you gotta say, I'm drawing. What are you doing? Drawing. What are you doing? Drawing. You wanna come see a movie? I'm drawing. You wanna come skate? I'm drawing. Come hang out. Come to the birthday party? I'm drawing. And so if you're looking to reach a 10,000 hour marker, you're just gonna be, it's just putting yourself in a hamster wheel. And that's coming from someone who could be well over 10,000 hours or a bit under. I don't really know. know how many hours I've been putting, because I don't clock in. I just draw when it calls to me. I don't always keep track of every single thing I'm drawing. It's not a job for me. And if you want to minimize your skill to just another job where you clock in and clock out, and you're down to do that, imagine doing that for 8 years. Though. What the fuck? Who's he doing? I just want to say, I'm just saying this to a lot of mainly to younger folks that think of starting their journey and, measuring their journey through the hours, through the 10,000 hours. That's not necessarily going to help you get through your journey as an artist. It would be a lot more beneficial for you if you focus on what the meaning of your drawings has. Why are they valuable? Why do you want to draw these things? How can your drawings make the world make sense to you? How can your drawings lead to the world understanding you personally more? I think that's the journey you should be more focused on, and focus on your relationship to drawing and the relationship your drawings have to the rest of the world, rather than focusing on the hours, because the hours don't mean nothing. You could spend 4 hours on a drawing you hate and do a little doodle in 2 minutes that you love. That's your most favorite drawing you did all year. It's not tied to the hours. It's tied to the meaning. It's tied to your passion. And in your immersion, how immersed are you in this? If you're on a journey of drawing, I would recommend you focus more on how your drawings connect with people, how they connect with yourself, and if your drawings are deepening your understanding of your environment, the people around you, and most importantly, yourself. It's important to remember, if you're not feeling connected to your artwork on a deeper level, you might need to change your environment or change your perspective. All my drawers, y'all need to stay up, stay creative, keep pushing the boundaries, and draw something you never drew before. Alright, Wolvie's out. Peace. Say hi. Say hello.